hope you guys are doing well. It is Tuesday morning here, and hopefully I'll get this video out today. Johnny's here with me on the back deck and just kind of having a slower morning this morning. So it's about 8 o'clock. And so anyway, we had a very interesting week last week. As you know, we have a blind and deaf cow who is also lame in a couple of legs. And she's such a sweetheart. She's just a pet. And I have the cutest pictures from this past week where she's laying like in the field, you know, with her head up, but she's just kind of laying there. And my daughter, whose cow it is like laid back on her like she's a big pillow. And anyway, sweetest pictures. But Minnie is... we cater to Minnie, you know, and we give her extra attention and stuff. Well, we had moved her to a new field because the field that she was in, she didn't have a lot of shade. So I was trying to do a good thing, moved her to a new field that had lots of shade. And it had like a wooded area with briars and stuff too, but it was like up a steep hill. And I thought, you know, with her lameness, I thought, well, we don't have to worry about that. She'll stay low where she's supposed to be because she won't want to climb the hill. Well, I was wrong. So Minnie, last Tuesday, we went to check on her and she had gone up in that. And so from Tuesday until Friday of this past week, we kept trying to lead her out like with buckets of feed because she can smell. She just can't see and hear. And she would go pretty much just in circles and she could not figure out how to get out. And we weren't having any progress. We weren't making any progress getting her out. And so we were having every day, you could not reach her by tractor or by UTV. It was only on foot. And so anyway, finally, we were bucketing water in, you know, twice a day, just taking her feed because she's in the middle of like the woods, like there's no grass. I mean, you know, she's getting hungry and we were taking her feed and everything. And it just was not going well. And it was not a good spot for her to be as far as standing because it was sort of like this. And so, you know, with her bad leg, it wasn't good. And so finally on Friday, I made a judgment call. And I decided if we didn't get her out of there, I was afraid she was going to die. And so I turned the 62 calves in with her. And I hated doing it because I have something in my eye. They make her nervous because she can't see them. But she knows they're there. You know, she can feel them pushing and stuff. And I was afraid they were going to bully her, but I was hoping they would aggravate her enough to flush her out of where she was. So we got buckets of feed and they followed us with the feed down to where Minnie was. And because we were there with Minnie, they were not bullying her at all. And it was the sweetest thing. We actually had one who came along, and these are not tiny calves. They're like, I don't know, they average like 700 pounds maybe. But we had one that came alongside Minnie and just got her body right up next to Minnie's and like walked her out essentially of the wooded area. And I am so thankful for that calf. And I told my daughter, I said, we need to give that one extra feed. She was so good. But the aggravation of them being there and stuff, it was enough with that calf being with her to spur her on. We got her out of there, then we walked her clear across the field, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but for a lame cow, that's a lot. It was more exercise than Minnie had in a month. And so anyway, we got her into a field by herself. So that was quite the ordeal. And it actually took, to get her out of where she was and into the new field, took about an hour and a half of work and walking with her. So anyway, just thankful that she's safe and thankful for that calf that went and walked along with her. But anyway, so that was our last week, and it was quite interesting. But and then to top it all off, over the weekend, our upstairs, we have two like HVAC units, one for the main level in the basement and one for upstairs. and the one upstairs went out. So the girls had to bunk with the boys downstairs, and my husband and I were sleeping on the sofa where, you know, we had some air conditioning and stuff. And so anyway, but thankfully they came. They were supposed to come yesterday between 1 and 3. And I waited and I waited, and I finally at 5:30, I'm like, okay, they're not coming. At almost 8 o'clock last night, the guy came. He was just running late, but I had no idea he would come that late. And so I really appreciated his efforts, and he wasn't here more than 30 minutes. He got it going, and it was just a small part had gone bad. And so anyway, very thankful for air conditioning as hot as it's been. But I thought that what we would do this morning is I would take you and show you how the garden is doing. Down behind me, we have pumpkins, watermelons, cantaloupes, and honeydew planted. But there's not a whole lot to show there because they have started sprouting and coming up some. But we put down black plastic, trying to keep the weeds out. And where we live up on a hill, the wind is horrible. And so that did not work out well. We had put stakes in it to keep it down. We had put rocks on it every 3 feet, like big rocks. It all got ripped up. And so anyway, we have sprayed. We took the plants and covered them with a bucket and then sprayed around, you know, for the weeds. And so right now it's just kind of ugly looking because the weeds haven't died or anything. But so we'll do that one maybe when they're a little further along. But we'll head out this morning and look at the gardens. We've got a couple of different spots where we have stuff planted, and it's doing well this year. Last year was rough, and I'll explain that to you when we get out there. But anyway, I thought we would just head out and see how the gardens look today. All right, so we're out here in the front yard, and we have 2 raised beds. So last year we built these and we put the dirt in, and things did not go well. And I think what ended up happening was it needed some sulfur, my husband said. So we fixed that this year. So these are our tomatoes, and they're doing pretty well. I mean, we've got the electric fence around it because, you know, living up here, we have all kinds of wildlife who like to eat on them. But they're starting to bloom some. The tomatoes are. This one needs a little bit of help. I think I'm going to get out here this morning and put some more dirt around the stalks, around the bottom, just to kind of help them, and then go ahead and add my tomato cages before they get any bigger. But over here, my squash plants are doing just amazing. And so I've got those for the squash. And then my twins love omelets, and they like it with onions and peppers. And so we have a pepper there, and we have one on the other end. And then I'm trying to remember maybe these are just more squash. Maybe that's what, because they look the same. These, I guess, are just squash we planted at a later date. So, oh, you know what? Nope, I remember. These, the bigger ones, are actually zucchinis. And these here are yellow squash. That's what it was. And I did plant them later, much later than the zucchinis. So, but the zucchinis are doing great. So, all right, well, let's head out and we'll look at the other spots that we have planted. All right, now, I know that it's hard to tell from looking at this. My twins actually had all the weeds out of here last week. But the rain, for some reason, has just brought weeds on like crazy. So, in case you're wondering what their projects are going to be this week, it's going to be weed in the garden. But anyway, so we have cucumbers, and they're doing really well. Starting to run a little bit. So I think what we're going to do is put like a 2 T-posts and some cattle panels up, and they run up the cattle panels, and that way they're just, you know, not on the ground. And then I did plant some more tomatoes, some more squash and peppers, just extra ones that wouldn't fit in the other beds. And then the onions, of course, for the twins, if you can see them amongst our weeds. But anyway, they've actually got a lot of onions coming up, so that's good. Not that they're the only ones that eat onions, but it was their idea. They wanted the onions. And then here are our potatoes, which are doing great. We just planted, I think they're Yukon Golds this year. So they go, you know, all the way down. We've got 2.5 rows or 2.25 rows of those. So those are doing great. And then over here, I have to come back and put that fence up. We planted corn, sweet corn. And I don't remember exactly which kinds we planted this year. We usually do, it's called a triple sweet. And we love sweet corn. And so anyway, and we give it away to family and friends as well, but that has come up and is doing well. So they actually went through yesterday, and because when you plant it, you just use this planter and you just wheel it through and it puts it in the ground, but it will put it too close together. And so then you go back and thin it out. So the boys went through yesterday and thinned it out where there's only one like every 6 inches. So when it grows, it's all good. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of sweet corn, and they are long rows. But like I said, we love corn, so that will not be a problem. Generally, when I fix corn for our family, we do 24 ears at the time, so we can roll through it pretty quick once it starts coming in. So anyway, but that's what we planted this year, and other than the weeds taking us over, it's actually doing really, really well. But one other thing, let me put this fence back up. One other thing I wanted to show you, because I don't think I did in all the graduation hoopla, but I don't remember if I did or not. If I did, I apologize. I got some ferns for the front of the house, and the wreath, I think I had showed you all the wreath that I made for my daughter's graduation, and I ended up just leaving the grapevine wreath part and took the flowers off and put red, white, and blue ones on there for like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. I do my summer decorating is red, white, and blue. And so I'll take you inside a different day and show you that. I will have to say though, the house is quite straight because the guy was coming yesterday to work on the AC, and so I'm like, I have no idea what part of the house he's going to need to be in, so we need to get this place cleaned up. But anyway, I think it turned out really cute though with the ferns and the wreath. So let me show you. So my wreath is just did the red, white, and blue around. I really like it though. I mean, it was super simple. Didn't take any time to do. I got the flowers at the Dollar Tree again. And then the ferns. I just love ferns. I think they're so pretty. And then it needs a good sweeping, but that's the mat I ended up going with, the Highland Cow with, you know, the 4th of July colors. And so anyway, I thought it looked cute. So, but anyway, well, thanks guys for just stopping by with me today. And I know it was a shorter video, and I apologize for that, but I've still got many that I need to move from where we got her in to one more field, so where there are no briars, but she does have shade. So tried to work on that this morning, and need to feed the calves and that kind of thing. So I need to get to work here before it gets too hot, and get some more things done in the garden with the tomato cages and pulling some dirt around those stalks before I put those in. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week, and come back next time and we'll check on something else. So I still want to make the triple berry strudel. I finally got all the stuff for that. And also I want to show you my inside decorating for summer. So anyway, come back and we'll take a look at that. So you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.